Hi, and welcome to this TechPathways London interview. My name is Caitlin McMillan, Project Manager at TechPathways London, and I'm here today with Farida Danmeri. Hey, Farida.
Hi, Caitlin. How are you?
All right, thank you. Enjoying feeling the sun on my face for the first time in a while.
So am
Nice.
I.
Brilliant. So, Farida, would you be able to introduce yourself and tell us what you do for a living?
Absolutely. So I'm the CEO and founder of Learning Connected. Learning Connected is a global platform for educators to share transformative knowledge to support the learning of their students so that they can thrive today and in the future. We provide various programs, for examples, webinars, events, and online workshops.
And how did you get to doing what you're doing today?
I studied biology, I specialised in plant sciences, and I began working in conservation. And at that time, I also was doing some voluntary work, which really made me more aware of issues related to the criminal justice system. And at that point, I decided to cross over and study criminal justice policy and specialise in youth justice. And at that time, I did some research on just how holistic education can prevent young people from escalating throughout the youth justice system. And it was such an impactful moment that I decided to train to be a science teacher. And I did that, and I taught in Woolwich for 3 years, and I absolutely loved it. After that, I taught abroad internationally, and I came back, and I really wanted to see what can we do to develop learning experiences using EdTech. So I began working for One EdTech. We were working with different lecturers, looking at different ways with which we can use a tool to deepen the learning experiences of students. And then I went over to PyTop, where I worked with the education team, and we developed a diverse selection of Python-based learning experiences for students.
That is a busy and varied career. I love it.
Yes, thank
I
you.
keep saying to people on this, like, if you don't know exactly what you want to spend the rest of your life doing at 18, that's okay. You can change your mind.
It's very true. I just recommend for people to follow their interests. My interests have changed along the way, but there is a unifying theme throughout, I'd say.
So I know these days there's no such thing as a sort of typical work day because
Yeah.
everything's very up in the air. But would you be able to talk us through a recent work day?
Yes. So we're focusing on delivering an international hackathon between students in the UK and in Africa. So I've been engaging with different universities, really discussing with deans what the needs of their students are and how they will be met with this particular event. I've also been engaging with different tech organisations as well to discuss how they can actually engage with these groups and share more on early career opportunities.
In your own practice, what digital skills do you use on a daily basis?
So I'd say a diverse range of tools. So for example, if I was delivering a workshop, I would be using an LMS, learning management system, where the tailored course would be available for the students to use. I use digital managing as well, also digital project management, and also SEO.
And SEO, just for those who don't know, could you talk us through what that is?
Search engine optimization. So for example, I have a web page and I think about what might be the keywords that I would use so that I can engage with my community when they actually are searching for keywords related to what Learning Connected does.
In terms of digital skills for young people, are there any skills that you particularly think that young people should be thinking about developing in order to best set themselves up for the world of work?
I wouldn't say there's a one size fits all approach. I would really recommend. So if I had a young person in front of me right now, I really recommend for them to explore different free courses that are available, and just to really develop their skill sets in that way, to create a portfolio and just look back at what they've achieved, reflect on what they've produced, and just to continue to develop those skills. The landscape is always changing, so just really explore new things.
Yeah, I think that idea of creating a portfolio of what you've already got is so important, isn't it? Because young people are creating things all the time with technology, but don't necessarily
Absolutely.
think about pulling it all together.
Yeah. And it could be incredibly useful as well in the future if they're trying to secure a job, they could share that portfolio with a potential employer.
Final question. In terms of more generally, so not just in terms of tech, but more generally, you've already talked about kind of following your interests and following where your curiosity takes you.
Yeah.
Do you have any other advice for young people who are thinking about what they might want to be doing in the next steps of their learning or the next steps of their careers?
Mhm. When I was 16, 17, 18, I was incredibly unsure of the next steps I would be taking. And I just think in life, nothing is certain. I think that's the fun part as well. We're always learning. But what I would recommend, if anyone feels unsure, if they want to find out more, I really recommend checking out free events, especially careers events in that particular area of work, and just really asking questions, finding out more about that particular area. Do you want to pursue a career? Um, so in that particular area. So I'd really recommend doing that. Using professional sites like LinkedIn, and engaging with experts and finding out what is a real day's work like, so you can get a better feel for that particular job.
That is an excellent piece of advice. What does that job actually look like when you're doing it? I think it's so
Yeah,
important. Farida, thank you so much for your time today.
thank you very much. It was an absolute pleasure.